Good evening, and welcome to Hang Out in the Crib with the Battle Pirates Crib. I'm the BB Professor, and tonight we have Hefe
Hello, everybody.
and Holsch
Howdy, howdy.
and someone new. This guy's kind of a noob, but no, we haven't seen Earth around here in a while. But hey, Earth.
Hello guys, how are you? I am back.
Yeah. For those of you who have not watched this for a long time, Irv actually did start the show, so we're happy to have him back for the evening. So tonight we're going to talk about some changes to the monoliths and the charged armors. Not controversial at all.
I think it was well received by the community.
Yeah,
The timing and everything. I think they appreciated it.
everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And then what else? Some changes to the new Forsaken mission target. And I don't know. We'll take it from there.
Okay.
Oh, I suppose I should share my screen.
And I will put you on present.
I'm almost out of beer. That's just a hint.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we'll go with some bug fixes pretty quick. Previous combat info would be displayed when you're spectating. Maybe it works right now.
Yeah, that's still broke.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they fixed this several times, but it's seems to revert back to the previous way.
Okay. Certain buildings in a dub you wouldn't move to attack them when you clicked on them. They say they fixed that. Sulfide.
They haven't fixed it in bases though, because that's been happening in bases as well.
Which buildings? Is it a store or something?
Yeah, when you can't hit anything in just normal bases. When you target turrets, so it won't do it, and guard ships and all sorts. It's been an absolute pain in the ass.
So it's not certain buildings or certain ships. It's probably locational.
No, it's not even like from the start of battle. It'll you'll get halfway into a channel and it will stop being able to target anything, and it's an absolute pain in the neck. Especially when you want to take out a guard ship before a turret, or and stuff of that nature. So, instead of being able to just not target the turret in front of you and shoot at the guard ship behind, which you need to do in some cases, you're going to have to take out the turret before you can take out the guard ship because you can't target it.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. Modified the sulfide deployer to be commensurate with blueprint documentation regarding scattergun reload. It sounds like it didn't do the scattergun reload. And they fixed it
before. It didn't. Well, they fixed it 2 weeks ago. I actually wrote that to try and make it sort of Doom-esque. Oh. That was not included in the documentation, but I tried to write it like he does, or he used to. He's gotten a little bit more straightforward with these, but it seems a little bit like we're guessing about 2 weeks ago, they put a fix in for this, but they never announced it. The reload component, I think it's 55%, something like that. There's supposed to be a 55% reload buff on the scattergun reload, and it wasn't working for the first couple of weeks at least that it was released, but they never told us that they fixed it. So
nice. So it works now?
Yeah, it works now.
Okay. Culverin cannon tokens were not available for use in regards to level 3 and 4. I guess you couldn't use those tokens that were given out last week in the campaign if you're up into level 3 or 4. And then fixed an issue where users were unable to unlock repair specialists for former Foundry hulls. So, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know what ships that are even useful these days have repair specialists.
Not none that I can think of.
Yeah. Okay.
You're still just
No.
using your galleys.
Yep. Okay. Moving on.
Okay.
Oh,
I think every ship that has a related repair specialist, my dock has been scrapped.
yeah.
Yeah. And there was a post by a moderator post an article that implied that the alpha cesium scarab was fixed a couple of weeks or in the last week or so. It wasn't in any of the bug fixes or anything like that. And George and I ran another test of it last night, and I was still able to, he still ran circles around me with the Liberator, and I wasn't able to hit him. They still appeared to be firing all at once and ignored the reload. There's still, since there hasn't been any documentation in the forums, I don't know what exactly he's implying got fixed, but I guess something must have, but it hasn't really been reported through official channels what it actually was.
Okay.
So something might have changed. Maybe.
Excellent.
I don't know. It's odd. They seem to be doing a little bit more damage than what they used to, but I don't think they're still totally fixed, if you like.
Yeah, and or if you have yours on the Harlock's version, which also has the slowdown cannons.
Yeah, it has the cannon yet.
Yeah, and so I can imagine that they would be quite effective in that.
They are quite effective on the Harlock's Alpha. I do have them on another Alpha as well, which I sometimes use, but not quite as effective on there, but they are better than they originally were.
Okay.
All right.
But can you tell how or what? Like, they just seem better in some way.
They seem to do a little bit more damage than what they used to.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on. Some previews coming up. Tomorrow, the 4th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Kickside time. That's 2 to 4 U.S. East Coast and 7 to 9 in the UK. So they are going to run some raid style targets. They say they revised the A set and releasing a new S set. So open for 2 hours. Bubbles will be on, so no base hitting, half repair on. So they just want you guys to hit raid targets and see how that goes. Preview number 2. Monday, same time of day. Get feedback on the Sloth with the Torpid Mortar Weapon and Enervated Explosives Special. I guess we can sort of assume that this might be the next raid prize.
That is the guess. Yeah.
And again, if you're not picking up on it, Sloth would be another in the series of 7 deadly sins. So we've seen the pride, we've seen the gluttony, and so the third one out of the 7 Conqueror Hull series will be Sloth. So
Very good.
if you've never been in one of these previews, usually there's like some FM targets. You got to tap the FM targets to be able to get the prizes, and then you have a bunch of gold so you can build them. And again, bubbles disabled, they say, so it'll just be hop on the map and pound bases. And those kind of previews are actually usually kind of fun. I can't get on at this time of day, but any thoughts about these previews?
It'll be interesting to see in preview 1 how different the S target is than what we're seeing in the 115, which I think is a close, slide that's coming up soon.
Right.
And it's interesting that they've released basically 3 mortars in a row. So hopefully this torpid mortar isn't one that we're going to want to refit onto onto our monoliths.
Might be
I think like the main issue with the mortar from the monolith was more the arc than anything else, other than the actual damage of it, wasn't it? And they've increased the damage, so they like decreased the arc of it, so that the projectile speed better.
I don't know that that's. I mean, the data mining before they made the change made it identical to the Judgment mortar, but I think a lot of people were getting confused because of the extra salvo. It's a 4 salvo instead of a 2. So when they put them both on the same, it looked like it was lagging behind the other ones, but it's actually because it was shooting out 4 instead of 2. So I mean, the data mining makes it identical to the Judgment and the coaxial Firestorm.
Yeah, because it definitely does seem that it's a lot slower, but obviously it's just a trick of the eye.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is that mortar might be a conqueror-only weapon.
Yeah. Or, be a single salvo weapon that does less damage. That way to overcome deflection. I don't know. Yeah. There's different ways they could do it to make it not compete with the OU-10.
Yeah. All right. Ready to move on? Holst, you got anything to say?
If you plan on getting in the previews, make sure and refresh to get that password.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
What else we got? All right, new FM target for you pirates out there. So we got a new level 115 designed for the updated monolith, and it's supposed to be similar to the upcoming target's S level target. Increased points payout. Also give a reinforced chest. I see the connection.
Yeah.
And perfect opportunity to try your updated monoliths for the FM and the upcoming events. And I'm going to go to the next slide just because we've got a picture of that target. It's pretty big. It's kind of got the usual turret clusters we've seen, the rockets and the arc missiles and the executioner-like missiles. And I hit one of these today, and I saw the same thing a lot of other people were seeing, was that the arc missiles were much more deadly to the backline ships, and that's kind of what I suspected was coming out of this.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen on it, it's the arc missiles seem to have priority targeting to sort of shoot behind at your rear, and it doesn't seem that you're able to outrange the rockets anymore.
Yeah, either they have priority targeting, or like they have in the 102s, they have a large blind
Dead
spot.
zone. Yeah, close in.
Dead zone, yeah. And yeah, I've heard them described as ouchie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not. I just tried this once, and I was not able to finish it with my monoliths.
Yeah. I had somebody else comment that they tried with a fleet of monoliths, and then they tried with the fleet of icebreakers afterwards, and also just managed to kill a couple islands.
Yeah, the damage output on it is, massive, probably a little bit more than what we've seen in the 112s on the rockets side of things, and you can't outrange these ones, so it's painful.
You can outrange them, but you have to target the little Cerberus. You have to come up to the side of it, and you can kill the grouping of turrets without getting to the range. Because I tried that earlier with my monoliths.
Right, cool. Well, I'll remember that when I don't hit them.
Yeah, the executioners do a whole bunch of damage. That's my problem. Because even just going in and trying to half kill it, because my other monoliths are only halfway built. So I went and did one little swoop in and got 26 minutes of damage on my monolith just from the executioner missiles. Everything else had no damage. So, yeah, they hurt.
Yeah.
Bullseye
then
brigade.
maybe. Yeah. I saw somewhere that those weren't working anymore for counters. Is that
I'm not sure, to be honest.
okay?
All I know is I've rolled 1 billion in uranium today, and I've not managed to get one.
It's like we lost Hefe, so we'll keep that in mind. And then the other thing I noticed is it's got this shrouded gate up here. I just thought that was kind of weird and pointless, right? Because I mean, I did it and I came around this way, and then by the time I got here, something had cleared the shroud, but I don't even know exactly what did it. But if you're just going to shroud the gate, then why?
Yeah, it
bother
seems
putting the gate?
weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think to force you to go a certain route in it. That's what I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
probably.
Well, right, but then why have a gate at all? Why not just make this a wall?
I guess if you come in and kill like half of it, then you can come back and have a shore path to the end of it, since it's such a large target.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I found it pretty not quite.
Maybe they ran out of wall pieces, Larry.
Maybe they did. Yeah. All right. Let's keep rolling. Have we talked about the Odyssey TLC? Hefe?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
The return of Odyssey with all the monolith and gridiron tokens?
Yeah. What you
Is
want?
that coming up? Oh, that is
Yeah.
coming up. All right.
Yeah, it's in the slides. I just thought people would, since we've seen that before, Mike could go later than the,
Yeah.
No, the
that's
big
fine.
changes.
That's
Yeah,
fine. You're right.
okay.
All right. So let's talk about the popular changes. So Kixeye buffed the monolith, the gridiron. I think did they buff the gridiron?
Oh yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the next slide.
Right. The U-10 mortar and the something else. Oh, and they changed the charged armors.
Did they?
They did.
Oh, okay.
I believe the term bandied about is Berff.
Yeah. So I was trying to come up with buff and nerf combined as far as what I think they did to that one.
Yeah, we couldn't really decide. All right. So anyway, if you look at the OU10, the only change is about a 20% damage increase. So 9650 to 11580. That's just pretty much a straight increase. So not a whole lot to say there. I think the thing to notice was before the OU10 was really not much better than the Judgment. Now you're seeing a bit of a difference.
Yeah, and it's we don't know the health of the targets that we're going to see, but there's the biggest thing is if you can kill them in a single salvo, you're doing almost two salvos of the Judgment mortar, or 2 cycle times of the Judgment mortar would give you 1220, as opposed to a single one with the new OU is 11,580. So that that first punch is might be significant, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
I used to call it Alpha Strike, but people didn't like that.
I like that word. It's a mech warrior word.
Okay.
Term, whatever. I think there was one more thing. Well, so what you were just saying, Hefe, actually about that. I mean, what we're seeing so far is that you still, even with the upgraded monolith and OU, you still have to ping away at these 115s for a while, I'd say. So I don't think you're quite in the Alpha Strike kill kind of range, even with most of a fleet of these.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, Monolith. What's new? We got a splash buff. We got
Yeah, which is nice.
some deflection on the Monolith, which we didn't have before.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Yeah. And then we
I-
got this new aura. The monoliths will buff each other's explosive damage. So if you've got a full fleet of monoliths, you get an extra 80% damage from the 4 auras stacking up.
Yeah, I find that the bottom 2 to be the most interesting, especially if you factor in the gridiron monolith on that deflection. The monoliths are actually tankier at this point than the gridiron if they're inside of that field, because it's adding 600 structure deflection.
Maybe 550, but yeah. Well, it's not.
It's not, well,
I think it was 550.
I think 550 is what's inherent with the gridiron monolith,
Oh,
but
you're right.
the field provides 600. Am I right
Yes,
on that?
It's 600 structure deflection and 300 ship deflection.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting from the perspective of what you guys were seeing as far as it firing at the backline ships, because now the backline ships would have 1100 structure deflection.
Yeah, they were still getting destroyed though.
Yeah, well, but I think that's part of what they're trying to do as far as the magic of differentiating these things.
Yeah.
With the 1100 structure deflection, they're going to have about twice the deflection of a Citadel.
I just tested the 115, and it does have a mid-range on that arc missile.
Okay.
Meaning it has a mid-range, meaning...
I'm trying to think.
Meaning no gap.
So yeah, if you're targeting it with your tank, it's going to fire at your backline no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
it's,
wonder.
it's more than likely got priority targeting on it, I would have thought.
Well, but I think what Holsch is saying is that if it has
Yeah.
a min range of like 100 or whatever, once you get close, it doesn't matter if it has priority targeting. If your tank's inside
Yeah, I suppose,
the
yeah.
minimum range, it's just going to fire at your back line. So one thing I was kind of thinking about is whether you could make use of the monolith speed and movement and somehow keep moving to try to avoid the arcs rather than
Yeah,
That would
somewhere.
be what I would try.
that's why I did. And you can go faster than the arc can hit you. So it does work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, and this seems like both these previous ones. I don't think that anybody would have any issues with, unless you are an icebreaker owner. But if you're a monolith owner, I think everything that we've seen so far has all been positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get off the positive. So, here's the change to the C1X, and what you can see is that, well, so first of all, I think you need to understand the explanation. Kixeye said the charged armors weren't working right, despite their initial insistence that they were. Let's keep that in mind. And then when they did fix them to work right, they found they were tuned to be too tough or too powerful or whatever. And so they reduced the explosive armor pool. You can see this used to be 500,000. Now it's 108,000. They reduced the explosive damage reduction, was 10,000, now 1678. But then they also reduced the min damage getting through, and they gave the charged armor some deflection and defensive stats. So it's kind of tough to compare the new C1X to the old C1X because it was sort of situational and it didn't work right. So everybody was pretty much thinking the C1 the X version of the charged armor was crap because in practice everybody was taking more damage when they were using it. But so now it's tough to compare. Did they make the charged armor better? I don't know.
I mean, I did some numbers for the M, but yeah, there's a couple of things in here. Is they basically I called it C1X/D5X Plus because basically you have all the D5X stats,
Yep.
Plus the pool and the damage reduction with lowered weight with actually no normal armor associated with it.
Yep.
The other thing
Yeah.
they did is they added a day to the build time, which I think that's personally, I don't know if everybody else is building this way, but I never really put on any of the C1Xs, but I put on the C1Ms. So I would pile up with resistance armors that were X armors and then charged M armors.
Yep.
So now that they've changed this, that doesn't make any sense anymore.
Right.
Now you sort of want to use these as like the same as a D5 armor, but you're getting a little bit of this advantage at the same time. So I'm not appreciative of the timing of this relative to the raid, nor the fact that they added a day of build times in order to correct any of these issues with the raid being right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean,
what did you expect, really? Though, to be fair.
Well, I like to hold them to a decent standard.
you would expect that a piece of armor that they're going to charge 10 million points a piece ought to work out of the box. That's what I would expect, frankly. And I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here, but I'm really tired of shit not working out of the box. Okay? I mean, these aren't like corner weird cases. I've said it before. These aren't weird cases where stuff's not working out of the box. Stuff's just coming out, brand new release, not working when you use it the way you're supposed to use it. Just
What gets me though is that they're actually doing preview servers and they're not realizing that it's not working, which is kind of stupid.
anything ought to tell them that this stuff's not working. They have the environment to play with. It's their product. They should know how it works.
Well, it's one of those, isn't it? They obviously don't play, do they? It takes us to notice it before they'll go, oh, well, maybe we have made a mistake there.
And how long has it's been acknowledged that there's been a problem with them? These first came out a month ago, or these first came out before this raid cycle. So it was 3 months ago. Wait, let me see. We're about to hit the second. We're 3 weeks into the second raid cycle. So there was a month before that. So we're at 7 weeks. And then didn't it pop out the previous raid cycle? However long ago Tito quit. Because Tito quit when he saw these armors and hasn't played since. So I think it's 2 months, 3 weeks since they graced us with their presence at 10 million each. And if they had questions walking in about how they worked and whatnot, I don't think they should have gone all in with them like they did with the cost, the impact that they had. I might have started with baby charged armors and worked their way up, as opposed to going all in like this and pissing off a large percentage of the player base by leaving these things around for 11 weeks and then changing them drastically the week before the raid.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to happen with, limited blueprint armor. It's just doesn't work. There's so many times limited components like this have come out, and they'll say that they're working, and then they're not working right, and then they'll change them. Happens all the time, and I think that's what pisses a lot of people off about the limited components side of it, because they go out all out to go and get them, and then they change them like this. So I can understand why people get really pissed off with it. I mean, I don't even bother with it anymore. I just can't bar the arse with it, because I just know in the back of my mind that they're going to change it.
Yeah. And then the fact that it's not just, a lot of people took a look at the stats of just not the charged armors, but the OU-10 and the gridiron, and said, I don't want these. The stats aren't very good, and I'm going to choose not to get them. And then they changed them. Well, they changed them much later, and now you're way behind, because you never know when they're actually going to change them or not, because the stats weren't good out of the box, and then they radically changed them. I don't know. It just
that's exactly what I've done, because I've gone, well, I've got Harlock's Citadel and a bunch of Citadel. They're all fully ranked. Why do I need to? There's not enough of an incentive for me to build them when I've got that sat there doing nothing. I just as well use those. So I haven't built any. I didn't even bother doing the campaign. Didn't even bother getting any of it. So now I'm behind on that, because now they've changed it. Yeah, it's worth me getting them now, but at the time it was just not worth the hassle involved in it.
Yeah, I mean, it requires an extension of faith that if they don't look like good now, that they'll fix them and make them work. And that seems to be more the case with the raid cycle halls than, like an example, the Alpha Behemoth. They still haven't, there's still tons of things broken graphically, mechanically with it. Maybe not with the Harlock, but with the original one, there's still all sorts of things broken with it. And they haven't fixed them after 3 months or whatever it is, 4 months.
The range on the Alpha is out. It doesn't work.
I'm sorry.
On the normal Alpha, you've got the same as what's the Harlock Alpha's got, the 12%.
Well, the things that don't work on it, like one example is, I think it mostly relates to the UAV. Number one is the fact that it has a deflection type for each damage type. So it should add 100 of each damage type and deflection to a hull that it's put on. It doesn't do that. At least it doesn't do it graphically. CS says it does work, but it's just a graphical issue. But it's been around since for how many months is it? 4 or 5 months. The reload on the UAV is supposed to be 0.2, but if you look at it, it only fires once per second. And then the other issue where it doesn't seem to be able to hit targets moving at full speed, which isn't an issue with the Harlock, but it is an issue with the normal one if you don't have a mechanism to effectively slow them down, especially since it can be countered with gales. So I'm just saying,
the other issue though,
if you got disappointed with that, you're less likely to trust them that they're going to fix these other hulls, and you're going to start building the Monolith blindly, and the OU, you're going to start building these blindly based on stats that don't look good. That's all I'm saying. So.
Okay.
One thing I will say though that is broken on the Alpha is the thrower range, the extra 12% that you get.
Mm-hmm.
On the normal alpha, it doesn't work.
Awesome.
So you don't get that. So where you used to have a range of 108, if you've got a polonium and the accelerator on there, you don't get it.
Right, well, the alpha doesn't have the 10% bonus like the Harlock alpha, which I wish they would add.
All right, so Holsh, you're saying that that's not supposed to have the extra range.
Yeah, the normal one's doesn't have that
Yeah.
that extra. Yeah.
All right.
Let's go on to the other charged armor. We got more on this one.
Well, okay. Well,
we don't have to. Go ahead.
All right, so here's what I want to point out before we move on. So we got increased build time. And then you also want to see it's limited on hull classes, right? Garrison is what we're seeing. Skirmish, though, is the other PvE hull type that takes explosive damage. So just keep that in mind. And let's go to missile. All right, well, you covered up the... Yeah. But,
can you move it? You can move it. You can move it and put it back.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, but then see, now I got to get out of presenter mode.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's basically everybody knows. Yeah.
I can't move it. Oh, you made me view only, man.
I gave you a link. Okay, never mind. Do you want me to change it?
No.
I gave you 2 links. I think I can. One
All right.
second. I will.
Yeah, let's not worry
animate.
You can always trust those to break things.
I mean, look, our viewers know how to read a blueprint. It's the same story. It reduced pool.
It's fixed if you want it refresh. If you don't want to hit refresh, that's fine with me.
How's that fixed? What do you?
It's fixed on my version. Okay. Because I animated that one.
Oh, okay. So that's how you fixed it. All right.
Yeah.
It's fixed.
Okay.
What am I? Kickside? Anyway, yeah. So you can see again, it's the same kind of story. The pool went down, the damage reduction went down, the min damage went down, but they've added the deflections and the penetrating defense. Mm-hmm. And then, just like I pointed out, the last one's good on skirmish. The missile defense is also good on assault. And I've kind of been debating with a couple folks on whether this armor would be really good on Apollos. I think the counter argument is, well, Apollos already are good enough and you don't take much damage, and it's going to be long to build them or refit them. But so here's the thing. You really don't want to put armor on Apollos usually because they have such good repair efficiency. Usually the extra repair time kind of isn't worth the extra defense you get generally. But this armor doesn't add any repair time, and it's going to give you great defense against missiles. And so you might want to keep that in mind for Apollos or whatever comes around in the assault raids coming up. That's just my look-ahead thought.
Yeah, that's a very good point, mate.
But also, at 10 million each, it could be a pricey proposition.
Not cheap.
That's all I'm saying. Not cheap.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And with the effect, if you have the big armors on it, now you got to take the big armors off. And also in refit time, it's not going to be cheap either.
Right. Okay. So Hefe made this chart to compare the old C1M to the new C1M. And
you want to explain the baseline?
Yeah, go ahead.
Condition. Yeah, this is what happened. I was running. This is what happened to my icebreakers. I like I explained earlier. I had loaded up on X resistance armor, and then I was using charged M armor to, because I thought that was at that time probably the best strategy to minimize damage. So what I'm showing is the old C1M and the new C1M. The changes to my stats And then down below, this is if I'm getting fired at by a turret that does 20,000, 5,000, 100,000 with different salvo rates. So what this is including is, I have the armor special. I have a turret defense of 50 and whatnot. I didn't want to start from, an unrealistic build. So this all incorporates the penetrating resistance that you're seeing, plus a defense resistance of, or a turret defense of 50 in addition to that. So that's about it. I didn't incorporate a V8 or anything like that because that would have made things overly complicated.
Yep. So okay.
And so what we did is as you see, the first one, which I thought was going to be sort of a break even on them, and I guess I could have resorted them by number, but I started off with 20K. And as you see, with a 20K damage turret with a salvo of 1, you're taking a lot more damage now. And the reason for that is the penetrative damage reduction of 37,000 wipes it all away, and you're only getting minimum penetrative damage of 25. So now on the new one, that 20,000, we're going to subtract 1,320, and then we're going to run through the penetrative resistance, the turret defense, and the siege deflection to come up with 725 damage, which is, it's somewhat significant, depending on how many there are. But then if you go change this to a damage salvo of 10, the old CM is going to take that minimum penetrative damage on all 10 salvos and make it 250. But because of that, that's only going to be 2,000 damage per salvo. First, you subtract if you just combine the penetrative damage reduction and the siege deflection, you've basically turned that to nothing. So basically, you only end up with the minimum penetrative damage of 1 times 10. So you're better off at that point. And sort of a similar scenario where it's all minimum damage if it's 5,000 damage. Then you get to the 100,000 damage from a turret. And that's, I think, what they're shooting for. As far as this change, as far as, because I don't think this was done because the players were unhappy. I think in some ways the way people were using it was overperforming, and so I think that 32% damage increase, I think this is what they were going for down at the bottom. But I can't be certain.
Well, it's hard to say because they said not only was it not tuned right, it wasn't working right. So I'm not, I mean, this comparison's nice, but I'm not even sure it's valid in that you don't know that the old C1M was really working this way that it was supposed to.
Well, the C1M seemed to be working. It was the X. That's why I did it on the M and not the X.
Yeah,
because that one appeared to be working fairly well. Based on the stats and the assumptions, it was the X that was all messed up, and that's why I didn't even bother putting a chart together for that.
Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, how much health do your ships have, right? PvE ships, what, 20K? I mean, four missile shots versus 3 missile shots. You're pretty screwed if you're taking 6,000 points of damage in a shot. I just think.
Yeah, and I don't even know if there are 100,000 damage salvo 1 weapons out there. The other thing is, because some of the last show we did, we were talking about the icebreakers and should they change the icebreakers as well. And I said no, they shouldn't change the icebreakers because they can change the target because there's nothing comparable.
Yeah, makes sense.
And but the Monolith has the direct competitor of the Citadel, and that's why they needed to actually change the hull stat as opposed to changing the target, because it would be much more difficult to just make a change in the target and affect the difference between the Citadel and the Monolith than the Firestorm and the Hellstrike. I'm not the Icebreaker and the Hellstrike. Which I think would be the closest competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait, Gore Saber.
Okay, Corsair. Okay.
Unless you make one of the rocket Zeloses.
Yes. The infamous rocket Zelos. How are they doing? Does
I
anybody
have
know?
no idea.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they did do it in the last FM. This current FM, there is a prize where you can outfit your journalist hall with rockets, but I've not heard a lot of noise on those yet. Maybe we'll hear about that during the raid. That the
Maybe.
rocket Zelos is the way to go.
I'm not holding my breath. All right, let's keep rolling.
Especially for a week, that would be healthy.
Try in the preview.
All right, so
I can get in.
with the changes, Kixeye also re-released the Odyssey time-limited campaign. This, for those of you that don't know, this is a siege campaign with the Scourge pop-up targets. A little tougher than raid targets, I think, for most of us. Doable with Harlock Cannoneers.
Yeah. I've heard they've made a change to target. Well, two of them are new targets. Once you get past prize back 1, prize back 2 adds in target 6, which has not been in the raid, and prize back 3, and going forward adds target 7, which weren't seen in the raid. I think it was previously target 6 had a not an invisible wall, but a
visible wall that wasn't really there.
Glitch wall.
Yeah. And I hear that's been fixed.
That one's been, I heard. The thing is, like, how do people feel that the fact that they, that we didn't know about this? It would have been so nice to know about this, maybe in the April whip.
Do you mean how did the Monolith after getting it in the raid, and now they get a 20-day Monolith Creon's Monolith build token now for doing the campaign?
Yeah.
I would have thought that people are going to be pretty pissed off.
Yeah. I had just finished refitting my gridiron to be ready for the raid, but oh well.
It's not good though, is it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If they'd have offered the 20-day build token in the raid for an amount of points, then people wouldn't have been, quite so pissed off, I don't think. But to bring it out 3 weeks after you've just brought it out and give them a 20-day token so that they can get it in before the next raid, it's just a bit crap, isn't it?
Yeah. And the one thing they could have done that would have made everybody happy is increase the build limit on the Gridiron's Monolith, since it's a tank, to 2. And I think everybody would be...
that would have been a better idea as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now people feel like, okay, I can go ahead and do this, and now all that 40 million I got in the raid and whatnot, that's worth it. Now I can get a second one, and I got 20 days chopped off that bad boy, and I can use it in the third raid cycle and be cool with it. But now you got people that are upset, rightfully or wrongly, I don't know, because now if I go to that level, there's no point for me to go to the. I personally only plan to go to Prize Pack 3.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really gaining a great deal from Price Pack 4 and 5 if you've already got the gridiron. But
Right.
you
You
know,
already have your shells built.
yeah,
Right. You
exactly.
don't need to rank your monoliths anymore, hopefully.
Yeah, I have a completed gridiron monolith and at least 4 shells when some of them are almost completely built. So all I would really personally take advantage of is the monolith build tokens, and they're all
So-
skulled. So I'm not even going to use the XP tokens.
Yeah, and I mean, you can hone your skills with your monoliths in 112, can't you? And get the VXP tokens from that as well. So
here's my view on it, though. I can do Odyssey with my Harlock Cannoneer fleet, and I can do it without having to coin any repairs. So, I mean, I was able to run through Prize Pack 3 yesterday, and then I was going to do 4 tonight, maybe 5 tomorrow when everything's repaired. And so, I look at it as, okay, I have some free build tokens I can get, and even the 20-day, well, maybe I'll save it and see if they bring out some wild new stuff or whatever, or I'll just tweak my armor or something. So I kind of look at it as free tokens, and when I invested the build time in the monoliths, I did it willingly with what I had in front of me. So maybe I'm not going to hold a grudge that other people are catching up easier than I had it, but maybe I'm just
stop being so nice.
soul.
Don't stop being so nice. Just turn around and go, they're all complete bastards or something.
They're all complete.
Have you read Larry's last article?
I have to admit, no, I haven't had time.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that one. That one. Earth. Let me put it to you in a nutshell. It was, if you can't do this raid, and I was talking about the first one in this cycle. I said, if you can't do this raid,
Oh no, yeah, I
you're
read
not
that
good
one.
at this game.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then loads of people still continued to whine that they couldn't do it. I mean, come on.
Well, I didn't tell them how to do it.
Just
I
a big
there are plenty of people
fake mission target.
do it. But yeah. Whatever. I all right.
Yeah, I mean he's not as mean as Holsh is to people, but yeah.
Yeah, Holsh, speak up, man. Let it out.
Yeah, Holsh is just out there, just so mean to the player base. It's just
There's a reason we don't let him have a camera, and that's because he'd just be constantly giving the middle finger to the camera.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
Yeah, this is involuntary. This is involuntary that Holsh is only allowed to show, the Texas A&M, stadium. It's, it's mandatory for him to come on the show.
Is it like when we used to have Panda on the show and we used to have to mute him and then kick him?
Yeah, that's the way Holsh will just act up at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
See, Holsh, if you don't talk so much, we're just going to make fun of you. So you should give us your opinion.
That's fine. Well, people know me from forums, so that's enough for them.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, Holsh is a troll on the forums.
All right. Anything more to say about Odyssey? I've seen some videos.
I would recommend. Yeah, check the videos because a lot of people, unless you did it last time, we're not that familiar with because you start off with some B sets, and I'm still not that familiar with them, so I actually have a harder time with the first couple than I do with the last couple because I'm just unfamiliar with the targets.
Yeah.
And I incur a lot of lag on them, and so it's sort of like sometimes I do really well, but I feel like I'm flying by the seat of my pants as far as just zoom, and I think I get lucky on some of them where I do quite well because I do incur a lot of lag on these targets when all the walls and everything are popping up.
Yeah, and there's also still that one ballistic turret. I don't know if it's the second or third target, but it's still glitched to where it pops up with a different platform.
So that what it pops out and you can't shoot it.
Well, it doesn't pop out. It pops out. It pops up with a different platform. So, like the platform it is on, if it pops up, it won't pop up with it. So you'll have to activate a different platform to make it pop up. It's weird. Yeah.
All right.
Just from chat, Cuttle has put in the Odyssey hint: use pinches and retreat, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
If you're struggling.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really good advice on number 6. Number 6 is, but there's a lot of videos. I would just search some videos. Renato's put out some videos. There's a lot of people that have put out a ton of videos on how to do 6 and 7, and from the original cycle through, and from what I heard from some people is they don't hit as hard as they used to. So
I don't know about that, but
okay. Alrighty, I guess we can move on. I guess we do have one more slide.
Countermeasure turrets. Yeah. So what is this is saying that retrofitting countermeasure turrets does help the countermeasure part of the coax? Is that what you're getting at here?
Yeah, well, it's not listed, even though they have a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a picture of it. And this is mine where I have it rank 15. It also impacts the normal coaxial, the Forsaken one. It also extends the range of that one. So if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and if you use either the Draconian or the normal Forsaken coaxial turret and use them in your base, and you don't have anything that you think is that pressing in your retrofit lab, go ahead and upgrade it. You'll even though it doesn't show that it impacts it, it does.
Yeah,
it will keep on extending the range of your countermeasures. That's why mine is out to 108, and then I have countermeasures loader special that extends it even further. So it's way out there, like 128 or something like that, which is really helpful when you're competing against the ballistic the other part of the coaxial is the ballistic of 96. So the further you can stretch out the countermeasures, the better you're going to do, because the ballistic part is crap at this point. Yeah. And you can also upgrade that one separately, but that's a waste of uranium.
Yeah, I've got one of these fully ranked out in my base, and it works lots better.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. It's got a really big range on it.
Yeah, and me and George did some. We did a video that I think he's put out that we found out that because it's multi-shot of 4, at some point in time, adding something like hydroxide barrels or something that's multi-shot didn't work. It does work at this point. That 4 will become 6, but what we found is it's not useful. You're better off using another special that either extends range or extends splash, because it's multi-shot, so they're all coming out at the same time and doing splash damage. So if you got 4 or have 6, it's not making a difference, because they're not firing at they're firing at individuals, but if you can put a ton of splash on it, the difference between 4 and 6 is not really helping you.
Yeah, you're not shooting down any more missiles from 4 to 6, but you're shooting down more missiles if you increase that splash radius.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was an article on George's blog. It was a really good one. I would check it out if you haven't.
So, yeah, I think this is the last slide. Yep.
Oh, wait. What happened to side boob?
Oh, I can put some back in, but that was repeat side boob, and the fact that Earth was on distracted me. I was talking to Earth as opposed to, well, Earth was on the pre-show, and that's sometimes where I find like the end of slide girls, like right during the pre-show. If I'm not,
Where?
I'm not happy with
I
this.
mean, I could put her back. I could put one back, but she was a repeat. She was a repeat.
Man, repeat side boob is better than no side boob.
or you can go to slide 23. It's not side boob, but I like this one as far as the sub killing turrets. So she's making a sub for you.
Oh, she's making a killer sub.
Yeah. So this was the release of the gluttony. I put this out there to help people better choose what turrets to put in their base. But yeah, no real side boob, but whatever. So I guess I could potentially see if anybody likes to join us in the after show. And let's
in the slides.
Okay, and all right, let me go over here and take Larry off of focus, as he likes to call it.
Please.
And I will post in the YouTube chat in case anybody wants to join us.
Yeah.
Unless somebody wants to say besides Nines, which I'm not sure Nines is out there, but that's sometimes what. Yeah, and well, we do have a request for side boob in the turret. Yeah, I mean in the chat, but that's not unexpected. Not unexpected, but it is there. But I have put out the link if anybody'd like to join us in the Google Hangout. And but is there anything else that we'd like to finish with besides
side boob?
Yeah, I mean I can go find that if you want me to.
Nah, it's all right.
I mean I have.
I would hope most of our viewers,
or we could go to top boob with the deep sea countermeasures on slide 25.
I would hope most of our viewers.
Under boob on 29. No, go to slide 29. That's under boob. I think that would satisfy the people.
All right, 29. I got
29. We got under boob, and
All right, hang on. This is gonna take a minute to. I have to share my screen again. I mean, don't you people know how the internet works? Find your own directional.
Yes. I am.
That is
if
really
nothing
nice
else, I'm the master of boobs on the internet. From it appears.
All right. There's your under boob.
George, you need to turn off the television.
I got it.
Okay. How are you doing there, George? All right, I'll put Larry back on present just to make everybody happy.
There you go. Under boob. Here,
under boob.
Sweet point. Under boob. Under boob.
Just to make everybody happy.
All right. Go find your own, people.
Yes, I'm gonna do another. I'm thinking about doing like a. Since I don't know if anybody's watching anything else, I'm thinking about doing like a Thursday evening show on how to find hot chicks on the internet. So if anybody's
I bet you get a lot more viewers than a Battle Pirates show.
Well, I have my techniques.
He might get kicked off of YouTube.
I haven't shown anything. I haven't even shown anything that's been questionable. But let's take Larry off of focus.
Thank you.
And go there. But yeah, that's always a possibility. Would you like to join me, George? Because you found the same girl in that video that I did.
Yeah.
Like an oops, hot girl, and it just screams oops.
Yep.
And you did pretty well. You could be one of my Padwin learners.
I am learning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Matha. Yes, Matha.
Yes. So, but George, do you have anything more Battle Pirates related to add to the show?
I actually came in late because I had to do some stuff with the kids. Did you guys get that video? Like that little leaked info that the cesium scarab was fixed and changed, and no, it wasn't.
Yeah, we had the discussion.
We had
Yeah.
the
Okay.
discussion, but it was I didn't put the. We could show the video now. I mean, it's the video is 5 minutes. We could show it at this point or in the after show. But yeah,
While you're talking, yeah. I just thought it was fun. It was a fun little video to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we could I could look that one back up, but it does seem that I mean
Nothing
Earth
changed.
Earth has seemed to have been having it's a little bit complicated more complicated because Earth is using Harlock's alpha, and that UAV seems to work very well on that because of the slowdown cannon.
Oh, when it gets into range of that,
So,
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, once it hits, once the slowdown cannon hits it, then it becomes quite effective.
Yeah, it does. It does tend to work a lot better with that slowdown cannon because I've got it on a normal alpha and it's all right mixed in with obviously a bit of slowdown from glacial and stuff like that. It tends to work all right, but when you get that deceleration cannon hitting, it's tons better.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that we found was if you were really close or if you slowed down, the splash off of those things would actually get you. And I mean that would be the big thing, is that either have it run into lockdown rockets or that Harlock Alpha. Other than that, though, I mean, for their intended purpose, they still don't work.
Yeah, they're crap.
Yeah,
they're running quick for sure.
Is that a technical term, Murph?
Technical term would be shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fecal matter. All righty. Yes.
large chunks of fecal matter.
Yes. So, William or Mike, you guys have anything? A couple people have joined us. I just want to see if you guys have anything that you'd like to put out there before we proceed to the after show. Not that we need to do it right away. I just wanted to make sure that there was room for you guys to talk if you wanted to, and maybe not. Okay, we can continue on. There's some chatty Cathys out there. So, and Calamity Jane has yet to join us. So, oh wow, I guess he's working hard.
He's still trying to figure out what 9 and 9 is.
Yes.
Or 9 nines is.
Yes.
I would speak, but my speech is bad.
Okay.
All right.
It's no problem. I was just, I just wanted to, create an open forum if, anybody had anything. And because I know that, me and George and a couple of people, we'll just keep on talking. So I just wanted to throw it out there to anybody that had anything they wanted to add.
Yeah. And if you want to type something in chat, you can do that, and we'll address it too.
Yep.
But maybe it's time to end the show.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
After show, we still don't get the side boob, but
we got under boob.
Find your own damn side boob.
We got
The internet is for porn.
yeah.
yeah.
They wrote a song about it.
Who wrote a song about that?
It's in Avenue Q.
Yeah, no. I was just giving you an opportunity to bring that back to like a whole different generation. I mean, how long ago did that song come out? Holst was probably like 9.
I don't know. I'm going to use the internet and find out.
Okay.
Avenue Q.
You know,
Did
I mean, I
any-
think the search is Holsch when
First performance,
For porn,
March
internet's for porn.
2003.
2000 what?
3. So that was, wow, 14 years old.
Okay. Wait. Who was 14 years old?
Avenue Q, the
I need a
play
refresh.
where the song "The Internet Is for Porn" was part of the show. So yeah, that premiered in 2003. It also has other songs like "Sucks to Be Me," "Everyone's a Little Bit Racist," "I'm Not Wearing Underwear Today," "You Can Be as Loud as the Hell You Want When You're Making Love."
Nice.
Yeah.
These
Those
are
some
all
of them.
these are all going to be like new lead-in songs for the crib, like at the beginning of the show now, right?
Yeah. But not fantasies come true.
I'm back. I was having issues with the hearing everybody, so I refreshed. So I'm back. I was gone for a second, and I'm curious, like if somebody had filled in the last spot and I couldn't get back in, nobody could stop the broadcast, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. We could have had a 30-day, marathon if somebody had jumped in and, kept me
No,
from
because
getting
the minute that Nines would come on, the show would end. So everyone would leave.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle. I know Kyle has something to say.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Did
So you figured out how to auto the 115 yet, Kyle?
Yeah, credit card.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. Kyle's ordered up the black card.
I'm kind of curious at that little comment that Holst just put up, because I tried the 115s today with my monos, and they're not completely built yet, but I ended up dying on the back end of them.
Yeah, sounds like about what I did.
I got to finish putting armor and stuff on it, but I couldn't outrange the cold snaps. What I could do though is go take an outside angle to the grouping and hit one of the other turrets. That way the cold snaps didn't fire.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not outranging them.
Well, it's killing them without getting into range.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Usually when he says that, I assume that he's doing some funky ass driving and outranging them somehow.
Jeff, are you there?
Hefe.
You have to get another beer.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm actually wanting to add if I had it, I would actually add the speed upgrade to my monos. To be honest.
I don't know. I think my speed was okay. I think I have to change. I'm gonna take the Gales off of my gridiron so I could put more phalanxes on it, and I'm gonna put some of the antis on the monolith, and I'm gonna end up building a 4th DPS hull so that way I don't lose too much.
George, are you in the 400s by any chance?
Am I on what?
In the 400s.
I am. I'm in where in the hell am I? 463, 493, something around there. Something 3.
If you go to the 468 South Tower, I've got a normal alpha and a Harlox alpha out. If you want to do a little test with the UAVs.
Yeah, we can do that later on. I can't run this on the game. I have a crappy computer.
All right.
I need a new laptop.
Yeah, that's what I was going to see if Jeff could do it.
I'm a little annoyed because we're doing the beta testing on these 115s, right? And I'm like, okay, that's cool, I can do that, but I have like 8.5 hours of damage that I have to repair now just so I can go test again. And I kind of want to, because I like trying to figure out the target, but that's a steep friggin' learning curve.
Yep. Yeah, well, and that's maybe a really good point is maybe hit a few now so you can get that learning curve out of the way. We got William mentioned that his tank died before the first shot.
Ouch.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what that tank was. If you want to type it in chat, that'd be cool. But yeah, this S target looks like a tough one.
I mean, I wish those chests would have like, hours of repair tokens for the fleet repair or something, because I mean, we're kind of doing them a little bit of a service and we're kind of learning at the same time. But I don't know that 8.5 hours is something I want to repeat all the time, especially if these are going to be like that, the FM targets.
Yeah,
because they're making these targets and then putting them on the map, and that's all well and good. But we've gotten used to having the targets get progressively easier over time, right? Like the FM would change, it would be hard at first, and then we would get it to the point where we were, some of us were autoing the old 85s, and then we were getting, less than half an hour damage in the 109s. But now that's not going to happen, because you're not going to get a better ship. You're stuck with whatever it is for the next year.
George, just in case it helps, One Deep Six says use a grease monkey and make it 4 hours.
If I could roll a grease monkey, I'd be happy as hell to do it. But I'm holding on to the grease monkeys I got, because I don't quite roll them as often as other people apparently do.
I can't get a bullseye brigade to save my life at the minute. I've rolled $1 billion in Euro.
Oh, no one's getting those. That's what did that mod say on the forums? There's been no change to the drop rate. I can't even say that with a straight face.
No, I think it's only a thing in the UK. I think they don't allow people in the UK to roll them. I mean, I'm getting them right now.
Well, that's fine, because
You're full of shit.
I rolled 7 grease monkeys. I've got 7 grease monkeys before I managed to get a bullseye brigade, so it's all right.
Okay.
But I would like to get a bullseye brigade at some point.
I think the only gold crew that I've rolled in the last 4 weeks is 4 or 5 demos. That's it.
Death from above.
Those, but I don't count those.
Death from above is that's what I'm getting is my 3-star cruise.
Yeah, I'll be getting a couple of demos, but I've still been rolling grease monkeys.
So, Irf, you haven't been on in a while. What do you think about the kindler, gentler BPC?
Well, I don't know.
Kicks loves us at this point. I mean, they're willing to come on at any point, and we're their biggest proponents. I mean, you haven't been on the show, and you did make a guest appearance, I think, about 4 or 5 months ago. You haven't been a regular for about a year, or close to a year.
Yeah,
I know you've been busy.
I wasn't playing enough really to sort of weigh in on that. Really. So, I mean, I've just started properly playing again now, and I've just spent 4 days of doing nothing but hitting 97 drac mines and doing my base up. So, I've just really started getting back into it now. So I might end up turning up a bit more.
So you approve of the kindler, gentler Battle Pirates group?
Well, I don't know.
You know
about that.
We're the propaganda arm for Kickseye right now.
Shills.
I'm just kidding.
Bunch of shills.
Yep. So
yeah, that's us.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't blame the rest of you. It's just me. But I'm sorry. Anything else, or should we proceed to the after show? We got 9 here. I mean, there's not 9s, but we got 9 people on the show. We could show you show as the outro. I'm having bandwidth issues. If George, if you want to screen share, I'll put you on present if you want to show that video. But I'm having
Ooh, I mean, I can try. I don't know how well it's going to work.
Because I've been getting robot-y. That's why I've had to refresh a couple times during the show. I'm not sure if it's a Google issue or my bandwidth issue, but Just throwing that out there. If you want to demo what we did
Hold on.
yesterday.
I'm trying to load it right
Yeah.
now, and it's at 144
Click on
instead of
view,
720.
Put it loaded up there.
Let's cross that thing to see if it'll work.
How's that?
Okay, Earth's doing it. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Probably
okay,
just turn
good.
on the volume so we can talk over it.
How's that?
All right. That'll work. Maybe if you can increase the settings to your DPI, that might work a little bit. But
That's how mine came out, was like at 144. I had to select it higher.
yeah. But it's basically, you see this video is, you know, I'm thankful that George only has thud ones, one thud one on this, but I have I'm the poor guy sitting there with the alpha with the cesium scarab on it, and yeah, I don't seem to be able to hit him. And this is yesterday.
So the thing you can note too is, you know what FA's always saying about the shots all fire at once instead of 5 in succession. You can see the 5 splash points in the water all at the same time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like five hits per second, I think, right? It's because it's supposed to have that reload of point whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't. It blows its load all at once.
Defeated.
Okay.
No damage. That's really depressing. So apparently there was not, yeah, there was no change. Not that we could see. I mean, when you got closer, you know, it did well, but I think the last time we tested it, it did the same thing. So I didn't see a change at all. So I don't know what they were referencing.
Yeah, I find it.
The what?
I was going to say, do you want to try it with the Hardox Alpha, Jeff?
Later on I'll try it. Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah,
what's the range on that? What's the range on that cannon?
105.
So it should hit me then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
George is also in the 400s.
Yeah, we were just speaking whilst you were off getting another beer or whatever you were doing.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you continued the show without me.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
Well, you know.
You're overrated. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no. Oh, overrated. I didn't realize I had a rating.
Well, we
No,
are still live.
I was glad. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead, Murph.
So we are still live, so, you know, it's going to be very long.
Yeah, okay. Well, unless anybody has anything else to add or anything...
Well, it's either that, or do you want to do it now? I'll put the screen share up on it, and somebody can hit my Hardox Alpha, and we can see the difference between the Hardox Alpha and just a normal one.
Let me see if I can get the game to load while I'm on this. I mean, I can try. I just don't... I know it's going to lag like crazy for me.
Well, if you have Earth, who might have a better connection, if you have him screen share and broadcast, you would probably just have to...
Yeah, it's not a problem. Because I ain't going to be doing nothing anyway, am I? I'm just going to be sat there.
Yeah, let me try.
Yeah, he's just downloading midget porn, so it's, you know... small bandwidth with that.
Small bandwidth with that. Oh, where is this thing? All right. Where am I going with this now?
If you go to the 68 South Tower.
468 South. All right.
And Earth, I'm going to put you on present. And so whenever you want to screen share, feel free to.
I shall indeed. In a second, and I'll just out over there.
You said South Tower, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get to see my fleet name. What a shame. This fleet is called Blue Waffle, FYI.
Okay.
Thanks. that.
I try and come up with some good ones because when I do the videos, I want to have something funny somewhere in the video, and a lot of times I'll name like some crazy names on the fleets. All right, so the tower is loaded, and I can't see anything else. Yay.
Is that anything special at Denny's?
Yeah, that's it. Google it.
Okay. Denny's blue waffle.
Some poor bastard's gonna actually Google that. Oh my god.
Well,
All right,
you know,
Earth,
I would find it more disturbing if
All right.
they're doing that at Denny's. But they
You ready?
might have been.
Yep.
Once this gets hit with that cannon, it's gonna. How much of a slowdown is that cannon?
80%.
Ooh, yeah, that'll do it.
But it only has a 105 range, so you could technically kite him.
Well, not with thuds. Hello.
Oh yeah, not with thuds. Not with thuds. Oh, he's always got this too.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's hurting me more than the than the UAVs.
Yeah.
The UAVs still ain't doing nothing to me.
What is the slowdown even hitting him?
Yeah, it should be.
No.
I mean,
way-
'cause
buff.
there's a down arrow because of the negative accuracy associated with the polonium.
well, if I get closer, I mean, when I get into thud range, then I'm dead because that's as close.
Yeah,
See, now I'm getting whacked.
Drive further out. Yeah, drive further out.
It's just the thrower at that range.
No, he's also sending the UAVs. But
Yeah, but the UAVs aren't doing. The UAVs aren't hitting. See, the UAVs didn't do any damage. It's that thrower that's doing the damage.
Yeah, because I think I think you're dodging the cannon that's doing the slowdown.
Oh,
Is that-
are you
I'm not-
serious?
I'm-
That's lame. It's a dumbfire cannon too.
That's what I mean. You guys could do it again.
Son of a bitch.
I mean,
I
that's
wanna
what I didn't see you slowing down. Holst, did you see him slowing down 80%?
Not really. No, because I have something in my base that does that to brides and they come to the crawl. But I'm pretty sure that has splash on that weapon. So that would.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has got splash on it.
Because it looked like I slowed down when I came in close and nipped in real close.
Yeah, it's got an accuracy of 100, but it's also got a splash of 20.
Oh, it's a dumbfire
Yeah,
weapon.
it's
Son
dumbfire.
of a
Yes.
bitch.
So he was dodging it the whole time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That makes me feel
Which-
so much better about the Alpha or the Hawk 2.
Well, I mean, once you get into a base, it's more about strategic placement. So
Yeah, in a base, I mean, you've got.
If you can get it in a corner, yeah. I mean,
And it's on a corner, so yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you can get it in a corner where you're actually you're gonna hit. Because I know I've seen some bases that have the cesium at a corner and they'll miss, and when they slow down to take that corner, they'll get whacked, and then they'll stop missing again, which is not how it's supposed to work. I don't care what the hell they say. That is not working as intended.
No,
It's definitely not. Yeah, it's definitely not the way it was sold to us. Much like some certain armors that we recently had.
no,
Yeah, it's getting beyond joke, really. I mean, like, if you've got a UAV weapon which is always supposed to hit its target, it's kind of
no. If you missed the early part of the show, I mean, we were all we're all lifting our shirts and whatnot in approval of the change in the charge armor.
Oh yeah, I can skip that part of the show then. That's awesome.
Oh,
Thanks for the heads up.
I've been working out the last couple days just for this.
Until we started talking about side boob. Then I realized.
Yeah. We're all about the side move on the show. So yeah. I would rewind and watch the show and try to like it twice, which means you unlike it. So yeah.
Like it, unlike it, and like it again.
Yeah.
Just
So
'cause,
I mean, that last bit of content was great, but does anybody have anything else that we should still be doing live? Daniel just joined us. Daniel, if you hit a 115 and also figured out how to auto it?
No.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else?
If I had some fleet repair tokens, I could probably do it in like another 1 or 2 goes. But damn it, I gotta wait 8 hours now.
Yeah. So anything else that anybody would like to join up while we're or mention while we're still on YouTube?
I just wanted to give a big shout out to Kickside and thank you for listening to Player Base and making everything perform as bad as the Icebreaker.
Yeah.
I would love to see them add something on the grid because I mean those 115s, you need so many CMs. That gridiron just does not have enough weapon slots for it, man. It just doesn't.
Even getting whacked by those missiles, they take so big of a chunk of health.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what the balancing idea is. Apparently the whole idea of taking 0 damage for driving perfectly is not gonna make it through this raid set apparently.
Oh, so they've gone back to the Reaver days.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean I don't see you not I can't see doing that target and taking 0 damage.
Unless you run Bullseye, but who has those?
Yeah. Rip Bullseye. Rip Whip, Rip Bullseye, Rip DOS. What else? Rip Charged Armors. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
You know.
Rip Kickside.
Rip Icebreakers.
Oh, well, the Icebreakers still have a role. I mean, it's a prep role. It's an over-expensive role.
Not anymore. Not with the change in Charged Armor.
Maybe. I don't know.
They were taking similar. Look, in the A section.
I'm willing to bet. I'm going to throw that challenge out to you, George. I'm willing to
What?
bet that you're going to find a role for your Icebreakers in the next raid. Are you saying that you're not?
I don't even know if I'm going to take them out of my dock, honestly.
Okay. I'm willing to bet that you're going to find a role for
Because,
them. And
look,
I think a lot of people in the show are going to find a role for the Icebreakers. I don't think it's going to be like blitz, take everything out, complete the entire target, but take out selective parts of the target and then go back in with your monoliths or
I
whatnot.
think we'd only roll
Well,
in marine conservation.
There you go.
Yes.
I mean, I have to strip them of the armor so I can put them on all the armor that I now need on my monolith fleet, and they're shy an armor slot now. You know, because now you need 2 of them to get the pool the right size. I mean, it's I don't know. So the Ironclads can get stripped of their armor, and the armor is going to take me twice as long now to take off. You know, thanks for the heads up, Kixeye. I could at least taken them off and been ready to fit them if you gave us some forewarning.
So you like my response to your post this morning? And your post was very like, oh, okay. Now I'm a moderator on the Kicks forum. Like, okay, what did you ask? Would you rather?
Asked which one? No, that was a serious question. I wanted to know which one would frustrate you more as a player if they had just taken them the hell out, because I really would rather have had them take it the fuck out. I mean, you guys screwed it up that bad. Don't change the mechanic to. I mean, the change in mechanic is extreme, and it messes up all sorts of things from past builds to future builds to the ones that we're in the middle of doing right now for the raid. I would rather have them just taken it out, give us some tokens, and said, "Sorry, we fucked up. You know, here's some tokens to fit D5s on, something, and then tune the targets accordingly." Instead of changing the mechanic that hugely, like that frustrates me more than if they had taken them out, because once they're out, they're out. I'm done. Now I have to scramble and take them off of, one hull and put them on another hull, and the build time's doubled. And yeah, I'm way more frustrated with what they did than had they just taken it out. And I just wanted to know if anybody else, what other people thought of it if you had the 2 choices sitting in front of you. There was no sarcasm or anything. That was not a disingenuous post at all. That was a serious question on my part. I really wanted to know what people wanted, Which one would frustrate you more as a player?
I said take them out.
Yeah, that's gonna work well, Kyle. I mean, yeah, after people have spent 200 million and whatnot, just take them out of the game. I mean, when you made that post originally, I'm like, oh my goodness, who made this? If I did like a blank thing, like who made this post? Was it Toyota Obsession? Specs the moderator? George? Who made this post? Like, if you don't like it, we'll just take it away. It felt a little kick. And you saw my response to it, right?
Because of your perspective, you have a soured perspective. How's that?
Well, you saw my response, right?
Yeah, I saw it. It was funny as hell. I liked it.
Yeah.
I responded to that
But
too.
it was actually that was a serious question, because I personally would rather have had them take it out and give us some sort of compensation for the umpteen million fucking points that we had to get and all the time that we spent building stuff and designing stuff and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of now, it's like, oh, hey, the mechanics changed. This is how it's working. Well, shit, now I need 2 of each on each ship. My ship only has 3 armor slots. What the hell?
And now I need to strip off D5Xs off my existing ones, a week before the raid. I mean, there's
not enough tokens. I'm like, yeah, okay, I see the tokens in Odyssey. That's great. I don't know why it's a fucking 20-day for the gridiron instead of like 4 or 5-day ones or something. But yeah, the amount of refits that I got to do is insane. I actually have to change my entire design to compensate for what I saw on the 115 and the armor now. So I'm like, shit. A week before the raid, I'm like, hey, cannoneers, anybody?
Yeah.
How do you like that Millennium gun?
I still like it.
No, it does work well. Millennium gun works well.
I was saying the other day about how I got the gridiron mono tokens that was offered in that limited time offer.
Oh, you must be pissed.
Yeah, I'm a little pissed. Yeah.
Filthy coin. See, and look, that's the other thing is all the shit that's going on right now. It's not hurting the little guy, because none of them spent 200 million on the damn armor. They didn't put it on their icebreakers. They didn't coin to get the icebreakers done. They didn't coin to get the monolith fleet out. I mean, they're slowly going. They can adapt a little bit better. This really screwed the people that coin, like especially the really big coiners. It just fucked them. You bought those gridiron tokens. If you bought any of that stuff, oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
You could at least
Something
boost the capacity.
kicking their teeth on this thing is the doggone time. Well, bad enough they made the change, but they double gotcha by doubling the time on them.
Well, yeah, and then when they did it, they did it the week before the raid,
all
and then
that,
they
all
doubled.
that.
I think if
And they didn't double it;
they
they tripled it. The doubling is
26. Yeah, this is what, an hour and 13 now. I mean,
Yeah.
a day and 13 or something. They added a day to it. But and what they could have done, honestly, is go, hey, you know what? This is the changes. The build time's going to change, but we're going to change it in 2 weeks. That would have been cooler than what they did, because there's a lot of changes people have to make on their fleets now, and you just made it so much longer to take them off of old fleets on those nice fleets that you sold us for 120 million last time.
Well, an easy solution is they could have just took it from being a limited print to being a full print.
They could have fucking left it alone. Just saying.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if you were on at that point, in George, but I did make the suggestion that they potentially make the gridiron increase the build to 2 if you could earn 2.
I tried. I tried. That was on the table for a while. That's not happening this time.
It's not happening this time, but I think that would have made people happier and not feel, there's no anger at that point. It's all happiness. It's all rainbows and, unicorns at that point. if you can redeem a second one.
Wasn't the
Lollipops.
wasn't the icebreaker 15 days to build already with all the charged armors? Now it's probably up to 17, 18 days.
No, 4 armor slots, add an extra day for each one. Probably 19 then.
Add an extra 3 days overall, yeah, something like that.
So now
I'm sorry, what did you say? It was 4?
4 armor
Yeah,
slots.
Yeah, so it's add 4.
Each.
Yeah, add another 4 days. That's
so they increased the build time of the icebreakers by a lot.
they increased everything, the build time of everything. Because I mean, look, let's be honest. The S target is going to be tuned to have these armors on your fleet. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. But at the same point, it's like the way that the mechanic is. I mean, I guess you could drive really carefully every single time and avoid the cold snaps. Although I don't know about that back end one. I have to look at it again.
Is it even that much better than the other ones, than the D5 version of it?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, yeah. If you're gonna consider it a D6, it's a great D6. Like
Well,
if they
you don't actually
released it,
get armor points from it though, right?
Yeah, but you don't have
No.
to pay for that either. So
You don't-
it is. I call it a D5X or M plus in the briefing, but you also don't have to pay for the. You're getting all the bonuses, but you don't have to pay for the repair time. So it really depends on which ship you put it on relative to the repair efficiency. Because
he's-
even
I
even
think
if it's not adding repair efficiency, I mean adding armor, it's still not changing your repair efficiency. And again, it depends what you're putting it on. If you're putting this on a Zelos, yeah, it's because like a D5M is going to lower your repair efficiency. But the D5M Plus not lowering that 1.0 repair efficiency.
it doesn't add armor. It adds essentially another layer of deflection.
It acts like
A primary layer of deflection.
It acts like a special. It doesn't act like an armor plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
you know,
no, because deflection would be calculated after resistances. This is going to be calculated before resistances, isn't it?
I said like another. It's not deflection, but when you're doing the math in your head, it's like a deflection. It's like a primary deflection.
Well, it also adds deflection and
Yeah, on the back end, yeah. But
yeah.
I just find it easier to explain it to people like that because going, hey, it's a shield and this has a charge and then there's a charge here and it's just this is what it is.
I could just see a situation where that actually underperforms than the D5s. And then everybody will be really happy with it.
In what situation would they underperform other than
Well,
actual
when
armor
you get
points?
25, you get like 25 something tons or something of armor, and then you add on the resistances before you actually taking into account that, so if you lose your charge pool, you're not going to have any of that armor that's baking on all the other resistances.
You still have the resistances and everything. Your charge pool can deplete. You just won't have any more charge to block anything, but all the other stuff is still there. You don't lose the deflection, you don't lose the resistances, you don't lose any of that other stuff. It's it's D5X with
plus, yeah.
Some charge.
Yeah, it's D5X plus. So it's got everything that you have in your D5X at R15 plus a little bit. Plus this penetrative damage pool or explosive damage pool and the deflection. So it's just that plus. So there's no. Yeah, it would have been cool. Everybody would have loved it if it was 2 million each, and they never changed it. And then everybody would have loved this, and there wouldn't have been any problem associated with it.
Right, and that's actually a really good point. Where they're going, they increased the build time because it's similar to D5 and this and that and da da. But D5 does not cost 10 million each individual panel. That's an issue. That really is an issue. What's the value? I mean, there's value in the item itself, but if you're paying that much and still having that much build time, yeesh.
Yeah, it's some of the moderators called. All those people that spend are just self-entitled little whiny babies. So
I don't understand why we're in a place where we're actually accepting limited components again. Then most people come to the conclusion that that was a bad idea a long time ago, and then now we're
That's exactly what I said about it.
Say it again.
Yeah, we said it. It's a bad idea ages ago.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I know. I'm sure Kixeye said, "Yeah, we agree. Limited components probably not a good idea," and then stop bringing them out, don't they?
Yep. And then surprise, motherfuckers!
No,
It's
but
back.
we had so many, like the ampacity upgrade. We had what was that one that gives deflection? The 20% deflection.
The one that nobody got.
That no one that no one got.
Larry, you put one on, didn't you?
Wait, what?
The deflection special. The deflection special.
No,
Larry's
I decided
playing
not
the Game
to.
Boy.
Okay.
I followed I think I followed George's advice and used the I used the thrusters instead.
Okay.
And also the ST armors.
Yeah, those were the dumbest.
Those were they were. Yes, they were.
I literally
And
have
they were like
62 of them.
Weren't they like 5 million a pop too at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
They do have one use, but that's it.
What?
Yeah.
What Hulk?
The
What?
SL as well.
I have some in my guard.
Yeah, they're good for guard fleet.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, I don't give a shit about my god.
It would be fun if somebody started up like a secondary website and put like created like a trading commodities thing on specials as soon as specials and new armors and ships when they came out, as far as cost to purchase and cost to whatnot, sort of similar to the stock market, but do it prior to the things actually being realized in the game, but just based on the stats and your trust in the game and whatnot.
They're talking about like trading components and stuff like that to other players.
Well, yeah, more in an abstract way. Not that you could just give something to somebody else, but more create like a commodities market for them and see how people reacted to it. Because sometimes if you look at, I don't bet on anything at all, but sometimes if you look at things like elections or whatnot, and you start looking at the bettors markets, especially the overseas, if you live in the U.S., but what goes on in the U.K. and Ireland, and then you start to look at how the bettors react, the people that are actually involving money in things, as opposed to people that are utilizing polls and whatnot. I'm sure the bettors are utilizing these polls, but I just would find it interesting, how people would trade in these commodities. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting off course for everybody. Am I losing everybody with this argument?
A couple minutes
Yeah,
ago.
I think you lost me.
Okay.
I'm thinking you're talking about like in other games they have like an auction hall for like various weapons and stuff. Like if they could put that into this game.
So does anybody have anything else before I end the broadcast? I can tell Larry's been like, I'm not sure what's going on. He appears to be frozen.
No.
Okay, yeah, it's just not updating.
Sorry, I'm getting some work texts and whatnot.
It's okay. It's no problem. But anybody else have anything else you'd like to mention?
Other than
Yeah, they
frustration,
fixed George's ball in the campaign.
Hey, I'll
Yeah.
mention as a public service, there's a massive phishing attack going on now, coming over Gmail and
Oh yeah.
It's saying click on a Google Doc I shared with you, and yeah. So be careful.
Don't click on it. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
click on it. That's actually going around. Google's actually trying to respond to it now, but yeah, there's a bunch of them going out.
Yeah, my wife showed me one of those earlier today, and I didn't hear the news yet. And she's like, it seemed a little fishy because I haven't heard from this person in a long time. And I was like, yeah, it's probably phishing. Don't click on it. And then I see this news article. It was definitely one of those.
Okay.
Anyway, that's public service. Good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
And I will post the hangout one last time in case anybody would like to join us. But we'll see you, I think, Friday. So
Bye.
Later, everyone.
have fun till then.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.